This might surprise you, but we're talking a lot of transfer portal stuff on today's Alabama football report because, that's the number one storyline out there. And there are a lot of them. To help keep you and your friends updated, share today's video so they know where they can get all the latest on the Alabama Crimson Tide. We will get into a lot on the transfer portal as that window to enter begins to close, or at least getting closer to ending. We do have the first player to enter, or at least expected to enter. I don't know if it's actually official as of filming. The transfer portal this spring for the Crimson Tide. It's former top 100 recruit Khurtiss Perry. Now, I'll make note, we're not counting walk-ons and non-scholarship players. That's not really a thing. Who cares? This is the first real portal entry for the Crimson Tide, and it's also probably not that surprising or heartbreaking or even impactful. Talented player, no doubt, but he was buried on a pretty deep depth chart when it comes to the defensive line for the Crimson Tide. Other videos and programs will do like a 3-man depth chart. It goes 4 deep here for the Crimson Tide. Tim Smith, Tim Keenan, the new first name spelling for Jaheim Otis, which unique. LT Overton, Smith, Damon Payne Jr., a different Latham, whose name starts with a J, which is kind of funny. And then a bunch of new recruits as well. From a pure bodies perspective and the way they're going to be used, this is probably one of the deeper defensive line rooms, deeper rooms in this group for Alabama position-wise, and probably one of the deeper groups even in the SC. Maybe not as top-heavy talented, but from a depth perspective, there were so many bodies that it makes sense for somebody to hop in the transfer portal because there's just going to be not enough snaps and playing time to go around, especially if you're not a freshman trying to get your feet wet, So overall, what is your confidence level in the defensive line room for Alabama as everything begins to continue to change with a new regime in? It's the pinned comment on today's video, so if the ad plays, just ignore it and go vote instead. Scale it from 1 to 10, 1 the low end, 10 the high end, your confidence level in this defensive line room. Let's talk more portal potential incomers. First up is Arizona State cornerback Ed Woods. He entered the portal on Monday and is already set to visit Tuscaloosa this weekend. Now, Woods has played for the Sun Devils with some, let's say, solid, all things considered, results. Not really full-time starter reps, kind of backup in 2022. Bigger role backup in 2023 from a snap count perspective. Didn't allow that many yards relative to his catches. You want that number to be under 10, which was definitely the case in 2023, more so than 2022. Did allow 2 TDs, but also picked off a pass as well. What is most noteworthy here is that On 3 reported that Woods entered the portal, quote-unquote, with Bama on his mind. So, you probably got a pretty good feel for where he's going to end up going. Maybe he starts for the Crimson Tide. Maybe he doesn't. But we have spent countless shows here on the Alabama Football Report discussing the lack of proven depth, lack of veteran guys who have played actual snaps that matter in college football in the secondary. It's kind of a 3-deep room. It's Damani Jackson, who transferred from USC. It's Malachi Moore, who, of course, was a key starter last year. And Keon Sabb, who was a key backup for Michigan and actually played snaps. Everyone else is like, yeah, he's played 3 games. He's played 4 games. He has 100 snaps at most to his resume. It's more like 25 for guys. He's a true freshman. He redshirted, didn't play. There's no depth that you can reliably count on. So going after somebody in what I call that Ed Woods category, this is not a superstar player. This is not the Jahmyr Gibbs at cornerback transfer, right? But this is kind of more in the Jalen Key mold, to an extent. It's more in the Trey Amos category of they might play big roles for you because you need to get the depth in there. And he also comes in knowing he may or may not start, but has a path to doing so. So does Alabama end up landing Ed Woods? Y for yes, N for no. Get those predictions in for me in the comment section. And while you're down there, check out the link to Game Time. That's gametime.co and promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase to whatever event you're going to next. That could be sports-related event. Maybe it's not even up until the summer when you're going to go to an Alabama football game. Maybe you want to go to a Braves baseball game. Maybe you want to go to a concert, comedy, theater, whatever. when you are going to an event you need tickets for, use Game Time. By the way, you should always keep an eye out for some of their deals. Flash deals can save you 10%. Some sponsored deals save you some more. And zone deals, not always available, but you can only find deals on something for Game Time. But the zone deals are the best. Gives you the best savings, by the way. You pick the section, Game Time picks the seats for big-time savings in the process. So use promo code CHATSPORTS, Chat Sports, for $20 off your first purchase. That link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. We appreciate Game Time sponsoring us here at the Alabama Football Report. Let's go to the portal again. Texas quarterback Terrence Brooks plans on entering the portal. He was a 4-star recruit back in 2021. Hey, wouldn't it be nice to have a Texas player come to Bama instead of Sark poaching yet another player, as he has done many, many times with some good, some not so good success? Brooks has played just under 800 career snaps on defense, which would rank, I believe, third among your current players on the roster, which, hey, experience. And, oh, by the way, also has some, fairly noteworthy recruiting background. He was a 4-star recruit and a top 85 player. He was 83rd overall, the number 10 ranked quarterback, number 14 from the state of Texas. Clearly had fallen out of favor to a certain extent because there just wasn't clearly the only important because you're not going to play, right? Of note, back when he was a recruit, Brooks did take a visit to Alabama, Texas, Bama, Florida, Oregon State, Ohio State, Texas A&M out of high school. So there is at least a previous level of interest. Of course, things are different now because there's a whole new coaching staff in. We will have more Alabama football YouTube videos for you guys. So if you haven't already, hit that sub button, youtube.com/RollTideTV. Want to go back to the offensive line, some more internal stuff here. Head coach Kalen DeBoer made his first appearance on the Hey Coach radio show and praised the offensive line. As a reminder, it is the spring, and it's only positive vibes for everything. Even if that's not true, it's all you hear. So always a little grain of salt involved there. Here's what DeBoer said. That group did a great job from practice 1 to 15 on the offensive line. I haven't really thought through which group had the most improvement. I had to start somewhere. I'd go with it to them because of how they just seem to develop their overall game. You guys need to see it in scrimmage 1. They ran the ball well, but didn't protect as well. As things sit, I think this would be a guess to what the O-line looks like, with an asterisk on Parker Brailsford as he works through whatever personal stuff he's been going through right there. But I think you've got 6-ish guys, maybe 7, depending on the other tackle option, that you could feel decent about starting. And I think that's about where you would have liked to have been. Now, there is some team dynamic chemistry stuff they have to work through here. I do think that chemistry and stability and reps and consistency matter for the offensive line. I thought the O-line, and producer Chris agrees, looked really good on A-Day. Elijah Pritchett and Wilkin Formby both did a pretty good job. Now, maybe that makes you more worried about the pass rush, but that's the double-edged sword when you're practicing against each other. Kadyn Proctor left. He left this team and then came back. Allegedly didn't get the homecoming welcome he wanted at Iowa. And no guarantee he got one here. Although if the reports, rumors are true of he took the spring break trip with some teammates and then ended up coming back, maybe he does feel welcome back there. I think as a betting man, and I do like to bet, he's going to still be your starter at left tackle. But it would still run the guise of, hey, you're banking on a big breakout. And I think there's a reason to have confidence in that because he started the year bad. It was not a good start to the season, and the numbers reflect that. He allowed way too many sacks, and sacks are often a quarterback stat, make no mistake about it. But there were a lot of just instant beats. Not of hey, you held up for 2 seconds, 3 seconds, quarterback held the ball too long, allowed the sack. It was he whiffed on his punch and the edges around him, and it was bad. Now, he clearly beat out Elijah Pritchett last year. Pritchett also has a slight advantage in the sense that he has been in this program with this new coaching staff for the spring. Proctor didn't. It's going to be some changes for him. So I do think Proctor will win the job back, but I think he also has to still win it, and it might not be gift wrapped necessarily to him. So who plays left tackle in 2024? K for Kadyn Proctor, E for Elijah Pritchett.